The tournament is proud to feature the 135th Rose Parade and the 110th Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential that will be played here on Monday, January 1st. Our number one priority in all of the events that we do is the security of our guests, our participants, our volunteers, staff, and others who play a part in the success of these events. Both the Rose Parade presented by Honda and the Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential are only possible because of the extraordinary partnership and collaboration between the tournament, the city of Pasadena, the Rose Bowl Stadium, and our community. This year, the 2024 Rose Parade theme is celebrating a world of music. The 2024 theme brings together all of us through the art of music in a world of different cultures, beliefs, hopes, and dreams. One language unites us all, and that's music. We've assembled an amazing parade with our traditional floats, marching bands and equestrian units, and incredible musical performances. We also have a terrific game this year. We anticipate a sold-out game featuring the number 1 Michigan Wolverines playing the number 4 Alabama Crimson Tide in the CFP semifinal at the Rose Bowl game. The tournament is also proud to announce that we've partnered with Lululemon this year to host our first Run with the Roses 5K run that will take place on December 31st at midnight along the parade route. It's a way for people to start the year in a fun and healthy way, and sign-up information is available on our website at tournamentroses.com. Each year, more than 80,000 hours of combined service are supplied by our 935 volunteers, nicknamed White Suiters because of the distinctive white suits that they will wear on New Year's Day. They are such an incredible, valuable resource for us. I want to express my gratitude for all the important work that is seen and not seen by all of our public safety officials and law enforcement personnel, including those at the federal, state, and local levels. I also want to acknowledge the leadership of Police Chief Harris, Deputy Chief Sell, and Chief Augustine, and also Jens Weiden with the Rose Bowl Stadium. So now it's my pleasure to introduce the CEO and General Manager for the Rose Bowl Stadium, Jens Weiden.
We're ecstatic about this year's game. This is really the game. As you look at demand, we've never seen this much demand for tickets and interest in the game, and that's wonderful. It's our 101st birthday. We celebrated our centennial last year, and there's no better way to celebrate your birthday than being in Pasadena on January 1st. We welcome folks to come early. That's really the best way to enjoy the Rose Bowl game. Our Fan Fest opens at 9 o'clock in the morning. Our tailgating is unparalleled. This year we have team tailgates for both Michigan and Alabama, so if you want to come and participate in those, that's an opportunity. You can also do your own tailgates at your car on the beautiful Brookside Golf Course, and hopefully we'll have this kind of weather where everybody that comes into town, this was the original flex to show everybody how great our weather is on January 1st, and we're hopeful that we'll get that. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Battalion Chief Miller. He can talk about a little bit more about the weather and all the precautions that we're taking on January 1st.
On the behalf of our department, I want to wish everyone a healthy holiday and a happy new year. This year we will have additional firefighters along the parade route at the ready to respond to any medical emergencies as well as extinguishing illegal bonfires. The embers from these fires can go astray and cause a fire or injuries to bystanders or businesses. Only small, professional manufactured fire pits elevated at least 1 foot off the ground are allowed on the parade route. Additionally, they must be located 25 feet from buildings and other combustibles. Fire extinguisher also must be available. Please dress for cold weather. Children and seniors may need extra layers of clothing to avoid hypothermia. It's important to remember your hats and gloves. Drink healthy fluids and consume nourishing meals to avoid dehydration. People often forget you can dehydrate in cold weather. Tents, sofas, and boxes of any type that can be used as stools or seats are prohibited along the route. All fireworks are strictly prohibited. Any use will be enforced. Know your location. If you need help, please reach out to law enforcement staged along the route to assist you. From New Year's Eve through the 1st, Pasadena Fire Department responds to more than twice the number of calls for service. We will be ready to assist you with your emergency needs. I'm now going to pass it along to Chief Harris. Thank you.
First, let me wish all of the Pasadenians and those watching near and far a very happy holiday season. Thank you, folks of the media, for being here and covering this momentous event. Most of you have been here in the past for many of the years, as was spoken by some of the folks at this podium. This will be my first opportunity to be the police chief at such a large event. However, for Pasadena Police Department, we are old pros at making sure we provide the requisite safety and the things that the people in this community need when we are besieged by the number of kind folks and visitors to our fine city. We want to make sure that we show the hospitality. We want to thank our folks and the Pasadenians for the hospitality that they've always shown and that they will continue to show this year as we get into the festivities. Very important that we understand that we will be working well with our federal, state, and local partners, both county level, state, and the feds, on getting the things done to provide for the safety of the goers, the event goers, and all of the folks that will be lining that parade route, and certainly making sure that it is felt that there is public safety everywhere and that you have a safe experience over the course of that couple of days. So we're also going to answer here today some of the frequently asked questions so that folks can really understand what they need to do or not do in order to maximize the good time as they participate. A couple of things. Overnight camping will be permitted only on the night of Sunday, December 31st, 2023. It's very important that we have that information passed on to the folks. A position on the sidewalk may be maintained along the parade route beginning at noon on December 31st, 2023. And all persons and property, such as blankets, chairs, and personal items, must remain on the curb until 11 p.m. At that time, it can be moved to the Blue Honor Line. One of the others that we can do is if you see something, we want to make sure that you say something. Report suspicious activity to any of the public safety personnel that are along the route or in your vicinity. And in case of emergency, as always, dial 911. Here are a few things you can't do. Appearance in the parade is prohibited for the for the entries and marchers who have been approved by the Pasadena Tournament of Roses. So stay off the street and do not pass the Blue Honor Line. There'll be a zero tolerance from the police department on those things, so let's come to enjoy ourselves and not end up in the hoosegow. A couple things that you can do. Overnight camping, as I said, is allowed and permitted on the night of Sunday, and we want to make sure that we are being in care of our neighbors and making sure that we're not being rude and discourteous. That will help us have a very good experience. As far as all of the details with regard to parking, vehicles, and all of those, you can visit our website at thecityofpasadena.net, and that will cover all of the issues that people want to get some information on. They can also contact the police department, and we will gladly give you any information that you need. And so with that, again, we're thanking all of our partners standing behind me, thanking all of you, and with that, we'll take any questions. Any large event of this magnitude makes me nervous as the head of the organization, as I'm sure it does with anybody who's involved at the command or management level. But we are completely engaged in working with our local, state, and federal partners, and we have complete confidence that we will have another event without any, that will go unhampered with any issues as we've had in the past. We're going to make sure that we are fully staffed, both with all of those staff members, and I don't have anything that I am currently worried about other than making sure we have a great event. The question is about the protesters that happened yesterday that was in the news on the 110 freeway, and are we prepared for that, and do we expect those things? We are prepared for it. We prepare for the worst, expect the best. That is the way we're going to approach it. We do have resources that will be on scene to deal with those type of events should they occur. But I am hopeful that our advanced parties and our intelligence is accurate and that we should not have any of those types of issues to deal with. But if we do, we're prepared to deal with them. We are not expecting any protests, but that doesn't mean that they won't occur. But we'll be prepared to deal with those. And to date, I'm not aware of any protests that have been sought after through city resources.
Yeah, so the question was planning on the new 5K event. Again, the tournament's always been around family-friendly events. We have always had a lot of runners along our parade route throughout the night. We thought, why don't we organize a run then that can really engage with families and again start the new year in a safe and healthy way. And so the run will line up around 10:30. It will kick off at 11:59. It's a 5K course down and back at approximately the Paseo. It'll be at the Paseo and then go east and then come back. Lululemon has been a terrific partner working with Dimsey. Dimsey is an organization that plans like the Boston Marathon, so it's been well planned. And again, the city of Pasadena has been a terrific partner working with us on the arrangements along the parade route. The parade route's already closed. There's already infrastructure there with restrooms, security, those type of things. So we want this to hopefully become a new traditional event that we host every year here in Pasadena.
Just one thing I want to add is to make sure that everybody understands that it's an alcohol-free zone. We will not have public alcohol allowed on the parade route, on or near the parade route. So there'll be a zero tolerance for that. Understand that we're going to be paying attention. I'll speak on behalf of the police department. Typically, when we have those holidays that are associated with a lot of partying, we get an increase of calls for service for a lot of things. Drinking in public, noise complaints, things that are associated with the festive and party atmosphere. Most of the time, it's minor and just things where we need to go make advisals. Every once in a while, it'll be something where we need to take additional action. But we here in Pasadena and the Pasadenians understand what it is. We're being looked at by the world, and we'll conduct ourselves appropriately. We'll have a great festive time.
Yeah, it's common for us to have patrols on the route that put out any fires that potentially get out of control. We also have an increase in calls for things like I spoke of dehydration. There's also a ton of people on the route. So they're staying up late and they're walking around. So if you have some type of medical condition, it's more common for that to occur because you're now stressing your body. So it's really important to stay hydrated, to be warm. It gets really cold on the route, so make sure you're warm. We do see some hypothermia calls as well. It's a lot of people in the city, and when that occurs, it's just the rise of calls occur. Sure. So from the night into the parade, we've brought approximately an additional 60 firefighters working. We also have some assistance from other agencies that help us provide that. But we'll have well-staffed all along the parade route, into post-parade, and down at the Rose Bowl.
So the question was on, are there any restrictions with regard to COVID, masking, those type of things? And so this event, like all the events that we've had this year, people can wear masks if they feel that that's appropriate. But right now, we can talk through that a little bit, but right now we're talking directly with the city's health department. And as of now, there's going to be no restrictions for masking or any type of precautions that need to take place.
Buenos días, aquí el Departamento de Policía de Pasadena. Queremos dar una invitación para todos los que van a visitar nuestro desfile aquí en el Rose Parade. Queremos cubrir unos ejemplos de que no se puede permitir aquí durante la ruta del desfile. Solo se permite encampar durante la noche anterior del desfile, que es diciembre 31. Usted puede reservar una posición a lo largo de la ruta del desfile, comenzando mediodía antes del desfile en diciembre 31. Durante el desfile es prohibido cruzar la línea azul durante la ruta del desfile. Menores de abajo de la edad de 18 pueden estar durante la ruta del desfile. Después de las 10 a las 5 de la mañana, solamente si hay un supervisor, o un pariente, o un padre, o un guardián. Al Departamento de Policía le queremos recordar que, por favor, póngase ropa que es adecuada para el clima. Esperamos que va a ser una noche muy fría. También queremos recordar de que tomen líquidos y que coman y que traten de no deshidrate. En el desfile de Pasadena no se permite fogatas por la razón que es muy peligroso para la gente que está sentada al lado de otros durante la ruta del desfile. Ningún cohete es permitido en la ruta de desfile aquí en Pasadena o en la ciudad. No se permite tirar objetos durante el desfile, por ejemplo, tortillas, bombones. No se permite tampoco vender, regalar bucelas que puedan crear mucha bulla durante el desfile. Y el Departamento de Policía también recomienda que no tengan moscatas durante el desfile. La ciudad de Pasadena quiere que sus familias tengan un buen tiempo aquí en nuestro desfile y que se gocen y que los visiten otra vez el siguiente año. Muchas gracias.
Red Cross provides all the first aid medical response on the parade route. We are the first responders along the route. We have approximately 150 Red Cross first aid volunteers that will be deployed along the route. They staff 13 first aid stations along the route at approximately a half mile apart. And there will be approximately 70 to 80 calls for medical aid along the route. We will respond. About 15% of those will need additional care by the fire department and possibly transport to the hospital. The rest will be treated and released on scene by us. and we will be there from 4 a.m. We go on duty officially at the first aid stations at 6. Parade starts at 8, and we will be there till noon. We also cover the first aid over at post-parade float viewing in the afternoon, as well as at the Rose Bowl. Well, we're an all-volunteer organization. We provide first aid services, and they have us here primarily for access. Because we have at least 2 first aid foot teams at each of our stations, we can get to any call for medical aid from the time of dispatch in approximately 2 minutes. All of our people are first aid trained. They have AEDs, oxygen, and first aid supplies, as well as the training necessary to assess and treat the patients on scene. That way we can get on scene in very short order, and within another couple of minutes after getting on scene, we will know whether or not our patient is going to need more advanced care, in which case we call for paramedics to come and evaluate our patient and transport to the hospital if necessary. So yes, this will be our 60th anniversary of providing first aid at the Rose Parade. This will be my 35th year of being a Red Cross first aid volunteer at the Rose Parade. We also do augment the staffing for medical at the Rose Bowl. We have some of our Red Cross personnel there. I'm also in a reserve with Pasadena Fire, and so I am often stationed at the Rose Bowl. I would normally be at the game if I weren't working this instead on New Year's Day. But we do have first aid Red Cross personnel at the Rose Bowl as well.